There is one island, smaller than many American states, that makes the chips the entire modern world runs on. Your phone, your car, the data centers behind every chatbot you have ever used. And above all, the artificial intelligence that both Washington and Beijing now treat as the defining technology of the century. Both superpowers know this, and both have built their strategy around it. Because the AI race everyone talks about is not really a race of ideas, not the smartest model, not the biggest data set. Underneath all of it sits a physical product that only a handful of places on Earth can actually manufacture. So the real contest is quieter and far more concrete. It is a fight for control of a few physical choke points. In this video, we will walk through exactly what those choke points are. One island, one machine, and one switch, and why whoever controls them may set the pace of the entire century. This is the chip war, and it is about power far more than it is about technology.
Start with the island, and with one company on it. Its name is TSMC, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. To understand why it matters, you have to understand what it does. TSMC does not sell you a phone or a car. It makes chips for other companies, firms that design a chip but own no factory to build it. That business has a name, a foundry. Now, here is the number that gets misused constantly, so let us be precise. TSMC holds roughly 72% of the entire contract-foundry market, chips made to order for other firms. That is not the same as all chips. It leaves out memory, and it leaves out companies that build their own. But narrow the lens to the most advanced chips, the leading-edge logic that runs cutting-edge artificial intelligence, and TSMC's share climbs above 90%. Every flagship AI accelerator you have heard of, from Nvidia, from AMD, from Google, from Amazon, is physically built inside TSMC's factories. They design the chip. TSMC alone can make it.
So the obvious question is, if one company on one island is this critical, why doesn't everyone simply build their own? The answer is what makes this a true choke point, rather than an ordinary business. Making a 3-nanometer chip is not like opening another car plant. A leading-edge factory costs tens of billions of dollars, takes years to build, and depends on process knowledge only a few thousand engineers on Earth truly hold. And the concentration is staggering. By the most widely cited estimate, from the Boston Consulting Group and the Semiconductor Industry Association, around 92% of the world's most advanced logic capacity, chips below 10 nanometers, sits in Taiwan. Almost all of the remaining 8% sits in South Korea. Notice that this is a number about a place, not a company. It is where the machines physically are. This is the structural reason the war exists at all. You cannot simply spin up a rival. The capability took decades to build. And for now, it lives, overwhelmingly, in one location.
But TSMC has a dependency of its own, and it points to the second choke point. Even TSMC cannot make an advanced chip alone. To print circuits just a few atoms wide, you need a very specific machine using a technology called extreme ultraviolet lithography, EUV for short. And here, the concentration is even more extreme. There is exactly one company on Earth that makes EUV machines. Not the market leader, the only maker. Its name is ASML, based in the Netherlands. Be precise here too. ASML does not make every chip-making machine. Older tools still come from Japanese firms. But for EUV specifically, the tool required for the most advanced nodes, ASML's share is 100%. Each machine is a study in dependency itself. It costs between $180 and $400 million, contains around 100,000 parts, uses optics from Germany and a light source of American origin, and is assembled in a single Dutch town. A choke point, sitting inside a choke point.
Now bring in the third choke point, the one that turns manufacturing into leverage. Because the West controls both the key tools and the key designs, the United States and its allies can decide who is allowed to buy the most advanced chips. Think of it as a switch. Let us walk the timeline plainly, without taking a side. In October of 2022, Washington issued its first sweeping controls on advanced computing chips and chip-making tools bound for China. Companies adapted. Nvidia designed a slightly slower chip, the H20, to fall just under the limit, and demand was enormous. Then in 2025, that chip was effectively blocked too, and Nvidia took a $4.5 billion charge on unsold inventory, before the policy reversed again, letting sales resume in exchange for a fee paid to the United States government. As of early 2026, the rules have softened once more toward case-by-case review. And here, two incentives collide. One camp wants to slow a rival's access to military-grade computing. The other argues that selling China slightly weaker chips keeps it hooked on American technology and funds American research. Neither is the villain. Both are simply working the switch.
So how does the other side respond? Not by surrendering, by racing to build its own stack from scratch. China's most advanced chip maker, SMIC, is now producing 7-nanometer chips, and Huawei's Ascend line, China's answer to Nvidia, is targeting around 600,000 units in 2026, roughly double the year before. But there is a hard ceiling, and it traces straight back to the second choke point. China has no EUV machine. Barred from ASML's tool, its factories reach 7 nanometers only through elaborate workarounds on older equipment, at higher cost and lower yield, and cannot easily go below 5 nanometers at scale. So how far behind is China really? Here we separate fact from debate. The fact: the flagship gap is about 2 nodes. Nvidia's best chips use roughly 4 nanometer technology. Huawei's use 7. The debate, whether that means China is 2 years behind or 5, and how fast it is closing, is genuinely contested. Anyone who hands you a single confident number is guessing. And the switch is porous. Investigators keep uncovering advanced chips smuggled through third countries, a reminder that a control is only as strong as the effort to enforce it.
This is where the story turns from money to something heavier, an idea you may have heard called the silicon shield. The thesis goes like this: because Taiwan makes chips the whole world cannot live without, no one can afford a war over it. The island's factories are its armor. It is compelling and genuinely debated, so honesty requires both sides. One camp argues the shield is real. The cost of losing Taiwan's output would be so catastrophic that conflict becomes irrational for everyone. The other is skeptical. A determined power might accept the cost anyway. Seizing the fabs would be a hollow prize, since they cannot run without Western tools and software. And the same logic can flip, the factories becoming a target to deny rather than a shield to protect. We are not here to predict which camp is right, but consider the price they are arguing over. In February of 2026, Bloomberg Economics modeled a full conflict over Taiwan and estimated it could cost the world around $10.6 trillion in the first year, close to 10% of global economic output. That is not a forecast that war will happen. It is a scenario built to size the stakes, and those stakes are almost beyond comparison.
So step back and put the 3 pieces together, because this is the whole picture. The artificial intelligence age does not run on whoever has the cleverest idea. It runs on whoever can physically manufacture the compute, the raw processing power that intelligence at scale is built from. And that power flows through 3 narrow bottlenecks. The fab, TSMC, on one island, making the chips. The tool, ASML, in one Dutch town, making the single machine those chips require. And the switch, the export levers that decide who is allowed to buy. Control any one of them, and you hold leverage over the entire system. This is why people now call chips the new oil. But the comparison undersells it. Oil is pumped in dozens of countries. This oil field is one island and one machine.
That is the real reason two superpowers have organized their grand strategy around a place most of their citizens will never see. One important note before we close. This is educational analysis of how the system works, not financial advice and not a prediction of conflict. The goal is simply to help you see the machine clearly.
Which brings us back to where we began. Strip away the acronyms, the nanometers and the market share charts, and the entire trillion-dollar contest for artificial intelligence narrows to a single, almost fragile image. One island and one machine. Whoever controls the choke point sets the pace of what comes next. That is the lesson. And it is a lesson about power, not just technology. The nation that dominates an era is rarely the one with the best ideas alone. It is the one that controls the plumbing everyone else depends on. Chips are that plumbing today. Now, ask the same question about money instead of machines. Who controls the pipes through which the world's wealth actually moves? And you arrive at the dollar, and at the group of nations trying to build an alternative to it. That is the story we tell next, here on this channel. This has been Money and Power Explained.